Happy Tuesday and welcome to our 60-minute yoga practice. Today's yoga practice doesn't use any props necessarily, but if you want to have a knee pad to cushion your knee joints, you can have that available to you, or a rolled up hand towel. Also, we'll be doing down dog and plank today. So if it's inaccessible for you to bring your hands all the way to the floor in those two poses, you can use a chair and have your hands on the chair for down dog and plank. Just have the chair at the skinny end of your mat and make sure it doesn't slide or that it's not on wheels. Today's practice is all about another one of the chakras. We had the root chakra a while ago, and we moved up to the sacral chakra, and now we're moving up even further to the solar plexus chakra. It's right at the base of your rib cage, near your stomach and your diaphragm, and it's considered the center of your power. It has a color, just like the other colors. The other chakras have colors. This one is yellow, or I like to think of as gold, a bright gold, and its element is fire. So think about a gold fire right here. You can even touch that spot. And just, if you were going to get punched and you wanted to brace, imagine that the center of that motion to brace is your solar plexus. That's the strength in your core. All right, we are going to get started here with a hand gesture. It's called Rudra, and it brings together your thumb, your index, and your ring finger. I'll come a little closer. Thumb, index, and ring finger. Relax your shoulders down, and this represents self-esteem, power, self-confidence. Breathe. Take one more breath cycle here. Release your hands and wiggle those fingers out and around, and let's get started with a spinal warm-up. By the way, I'm not playing music, so if you want to turn on some music in your own home, by all means, put on anything you like, or you can just have some quiet time. Let's start with that spinal warm-up. I've got my mats kind of funky today, so that when I turn sideways, you can still see a bit of me from the front and the side. So don't worry about my mats, you only need one mat. This is just for the camera purposes. Let's start with our mountain pose, making the number 11 with your feet, parallel sticks. Knees are soft but stacked over your heels, hips, shoulders, ears, everything over the heels. Draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets, tall spine. Think about that golden wheel of energy, that fire at your solar plexus, giving you strength today. So it's going to be a lot of poses that focus on that area of the body. Let's start with elongation, warming up the spine, stretch and release. If you want, bend into that pose, stretch and release. Adding a little motion for the hips. Engage those abdominal muscles. Think about that solar plexus area of the body. One more. And release. Standing cat and cow. Bend your knees, bend your hips. Round your back, tuck your chin. Exhale. And then inhale, open it up. Do that again. Exhale. Squeeze the navel into the spine. Open the body. Think about that solar plexus area. Massaging that area where that spinning gold wheel of energy, of fire is. One more. And release. Going into lateral flexion, let's take it out a little bit wider so when we tip the body to the side, we don't tip over. Let's bring the arms out into a T. Relax the shoulders down, and we're making a windmill motion. Draw that right hand down, back to your T. Draw the left hand down and back to your T. Do a few more. One more each side. And release. Roll those shoulders back. And let's finish off with a rotation. Come back to that T. Knees are soft. Don't lock them out. Shoulders relaxed. Engage those abdominal muscles. Inhale. Exhale. Turn to your right. Center. And turn to your left. Go at your own pace here. Engage those abdominal muscles to protect the low back. If it makes you dizzy to turn your head, just turn your shoulder girdle and keep your gaze forward. Do one more each side. and release. We're going to go into goddess pose here and add cat and cow back in again, continuing our warm-up but with wide feet. So step wide and turn out. So toes are out, heels are in, so the knees track over the toes as we sink into goddess squat. You can move your hips up and down and find that balance and then hold your squat. Now we're going to be doing a couple cat and cows here, so we're going to be holding this. So if you need to come up a little bit, if that's better for your knees, by all means. But imagine that your back body is against a wall. So you're pressing that back body into a wall. And we're going into our cat and cow. So round your back, come away from the wall, and then reverse, pinch your shoulder blades and let your pinkies touch the wall behind you, an imaginary wall. Going into cat and cow. Make it a bigger motion. Give yourself a hug, a bear hug in standing cat. And then touch your fingertips together in standing cow. Go ahead and continue that deep motion of cat and cow with wide feet, goddess feet. One more pattern. And lift your hips up. Keep the feet wide. We're going to go into a breathing pose here called breath of fire. Because remember that golden fire for our solar plexus chakra. This is 1 inhale and 5 exhales. So you're going to inhale, and then your exhale is a soft exhale through the mouth. So like you're saying ha, but in the back of your throat. Go at your own pace. I'm going to do it as well, but you don't have to go at my pace. We're just going to do 30 seconds. Begin. Last one. And walk the feet together. Prance it out. Feel that fire in your belly. Roll your shoulders back. Take a regular yoga breath, deep in and out. And we're going to go into a standing sequence. I'm going to come to the skinny end of my mat and I'm facing sideways to you, kind of at a diagonal so I can still look at you a little bit. You don't have to. If you want to keep your mat oriented forward, you can. Listen to your body. I'm calling out your right and left so that if you are mirror image to me, it's your right and your left, and I'm like looking in a mirror. We're going to start with Warrior One pose. So set those feet in number 11. Bring your hands to heart center, and then draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Bear the weight on your right foot. Let your left heel become light. And step it back. It could be a small step, a medium step, or a deep step. And then drop the heel down. Check your heels now. Your heels should be lined up like your heels are on a balance beam. So in this pose, you do want your heels on a balance beam because the toes that are extending out on the left foot are giving you your kickstand, your balance. So set those heels in alignment and then throw that right shoulder back, looking off over your right knee. Draw your arms up to the sky and draw the shoulder blades into your back pockets. Squeeze a beach ball between your inner thighs, but wiggle your toes. So energizing thigh muscles, but keeping the toes relaxed. We're going to go into Humble Warrior 3 times. Inhale, exhale, reach over the right knee. Inhale, lift back up. Feel the energy in the core. Second time, exhale and inhale. One more time, exhale. Inhale, release the arms, and we're going to go into a low lunge. So pick up your back heel, turn that foot, hands on your right thigh, and lower all the way down. This is where you could put a knee pad under your left knee. I've got 2 mats, so I don't need one today. If you're on carpeting, you probably don't need it either. And now relax the toenails of the left foot onto the mat. Adjust the position of your right leg, so you're making the letter L here. Tall spine. Keep your right hand on your right thigh, and lift your left arm up to the sky, and relax this right shoulder down. We're going into lateral flexion 3 times. So reach over your head, stretching all the way down the left side body, all the way down into that psoas area, and then lift back up. Twice more. Exhale, lateral flexion. Inhale, lift up. Last one, lateral flexion. Lift up, and release that left arm down. Now we're going to go into a twisting motion. energizing that core, that power center of your body, that solar plexus chakra, giving you that golden wheel of fire. Arms forward. We're going to be opening your left arm to the left and turning your upper body to the left. Inhale, exhale, arms forward. Inhale, open, exhale. One more time. Inhale, and exhale. Now we're going in the opposite direction, so I'll be twisting away from you, and we're going to hold the third one. Right arm opens, inhale, look right, and arms forward. Second time, open, look right, and come forward. Last one we hold, open. We're going into twisted prayer here. Hands come into prayer position, and then draw that left elbow down towards your thigh. If you need more stability, go ahead and rest the entire forearm on the thigh, and you can let that right hand sweep up to the sky. Or you can come into this twisted prayer pose, stacking one elbow on top of the other. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And swing those arms back forward and release. We're going to come back into our high lunge. So press your hands on your right thigh. Curl those left toes, lift the knee. Find your balance, sink up and down a couple times. And then touch the toes of the left foot forward, just the toes. Balance. And now taking that balance one more step, lift the knee. One leg mountain, shoulders down. One more balance pose. Look at something that doesn't move. Draw that left ankle above the right knee and sink into one-legged squat. Maybe just an inch, maybe a little further. Engage the abdominal muscles. Feel your power. Rise up and come back to two-legged mountain. All right, we are going to go into a sequence now that folds the body and ends up in down dog and plank. So if you want to put your chair at the top of your mat for your hands, you can. My glasses tend to slide off, so I'm going to take them off for this sequence and put them back on later. I'm trying to get used to wearing them all the time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold from the hips and place your hands on your thighs. Make the letter L with your body. Pushing your bottoms back, but don't lock out your knees. Keep a little softness on your knees. Shoulders relax away from your ears. You can stay here, or you can crawl just below the knees. Stretching the backs of the legs, folding the body. Breathe. Take one more breath cycle here. And now we're going to come all the way down to the mat. You can put your hands on your chair here. You can bend your knees to get your hands down to the mat, or you can stay straight-legged. And now look at your knees. Bow the head. Breathe. Standing forward fold. Let's add a little cupping of the elbows here. If you need to come up a little bit higher for this, go ahead and maybe add a little sway, a little gentle turn. Engage the abdominal muscles. And then pause and return your hands back down to the mat or onto your chair. We're going to step back into plank, so soften both knees, flatten the palms, and step both feet back to the bottom of your mat. Lift up through the shoulders, press your heels away from you. Breathe. Another option here is to come into knee plank. So if you need to, draw the knees down, but keep a straight line between your knees and your shoulders. If you're on your knees, your toenails can touch the mat. They can relax. Or stay up in full plank with me. Breathe. Lift up through the shoulders like you're crushing the earth away from you. Breathe. One more breath cycle. And we're going to add a down dog tuck. Lift up. Back into down dog. Bear the weight on your right foot. Lift your left leg up to the sky. And we tuck the knee to the nose. Tuck and extend. Tuck and extend. One more. Tuck and extend. Leave it up in the air. Rotate your left thigh to face towards the left and bend the knee. So that foot ends up hanging out by the right hip. Look under your armpit and see that foot hanging out there. Open stretch here. One more breath cycle. Come back to down dog, both feet on the mat. prance through down dog, and walk it forward. Soft knees, rise all the way up, head comes up last, and roll your shoulders back. Relax your wrists. We're going to do that sequence on the other side. So I'm going to come to the other end of the mat here. You don't have to if your mat is oriented so that you're facing your screen with the skinny end. That's fine. Just make sure that you can see or hear or whatever you need to do to align your body in the proper way for each pose. We're going to go into that warrior one pose first. So feet are number 11. Hands to heart center. Draw the shoulder blades into your back pockets. Breathe. Bear the weight on your left foot. Let your right heel become light and step it back. Small, medium, or deep. And then drop the heel. Check out your heels. Are they on the balance beam? And your right toes give you the stability by pointing off to the right. Make sure you're keeping this left knee pointed over the second toe. Don't let it flop inwards because that's too much tension on the knee. Throw your left shoulder back. Lift your arms up and draw your shoulder blades into your back pockets. Warrior one. Breathe. And we're going to go into humble warrior 3 times. Use those core muscles to exhale. Hover your body over the thigh and then lift it back up. Second time, exhale and inhale. One more time, exhale and inhale. Release the arms. We're going to go into our low lunge. So if you want to have your hands on that left thigh for stability, lift up your right heel, turn the foot, and lower the knee down. You can use your hands to stabilize you as you come down to the mat. Make the letter L with this forward knee, so don't lean into it like this. You want to keep that vertical component of the lower leg. Keep your left hand on your left thigh. We'll go into our lateral flexion here. Bring that right arm up to the sky. Push your left shoulder down. And now reach over your head towards the left. And inhale, lift back up. Twice more. Lateral flexion, stretching the right side body. And lift up one more time. Lateral flexion. And lift up. Release the arm. We're going into our rotation move here in our low lunge. So bring both arms forward. Relax the shoulders. The first 3, we're opening the right arm and turning towards the right. Inhale, open. Find that balance and close. Inhale, sweep the arm open. And return one more time. Sweep open and return. Now I'm turning away from you for the next 3, and the third one we hold. Open that left arm. Look left. Return forward. Second time. Open. Twisting. Return. Third one we hold. Looking off towards the left. Bring your hands to prayer position. Lower that right elbow to the left thigh. If you need more support, bring the entire forearm onto the thigh, and then let that left arm sweep up, or maintain that prayer position with just the elbow touching the thigh. Working on balance, core stability. One more breath cycle. Arms come forward and release to the thigh. We're going to come up into that high lunge. This requires some core stability to lift from low up to high. So really think about engaging those muscles. Use your hand to stabilize you as you engage those toes and lift up. Find your balance. We're going to touch the right toes forward. Don't bear all the weight on the heel. Just touch the toes. And now progressing, knee up. Progressing, ankle above the left knee. One-legged squat, 1 inch or deeper. Balance. Release. Mountain pose. All right, let's go into our folding poses. Tall spine, mountain, starting with a half forward fold. If you're using your chair, make it available to you at the top of the mat, at the skinny end of your mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Let your hands find your thighs. Make the letter L. Push your bottoms away, but don't lock out your knees. Keep them soft. You can bring those hands just below the knees if you like, or stay above. You pick. Nice stretch for the hips and the backs of the thighs. We're going to take this deeper into our full forward fold. So here's where you can place your hands on a chair or soften your knees to come down into your full, or maybe you can do this with your legs straight. Wherever you are, look at your knees, bow your head. Relax the back of your neck. Cup the opposite elbow for a moment, add that sway. Remember, you can lift the chest up a little if you need to. And then pause, bringing those hands back down. We're going to step into plank, so soften both knees, flatten the hands, and step the feet to the bottom of your mat. Spread your fingers wide, lift up through the shoulders, press your heels away from you. If you need to, go ahead and drop your knees. We're just holding this plank for 1 or 2 breath cycles, not very long, so try to challenge yourself with the knees up. And now transitioning to down dog. Lift those hips up to the sky. Going into 3-legged dog. Bear the weight on your left foot and send that right leg up to the sky. And because I have my tiger pants on, let's tiger pounce. Draw the knee in, tiger pounce, and straighten it up. Second time, tiger pounce, and straight. One more, draw the knee in, and lift the leg up. Rotate your right thigh to the right, bend the knee, and the right foot is hanging out down by your left bum. One more breath cycle. Bring the foot back, down, both feet on the ground, down dog. Prance your down dog. And walk forward to mountain pose. Head comes up last. Roll your shoulders back. Good work, my friends. We have just one more standing sequence here. We've already done some balance. In that sequence, we included that one-legged mountain and one-legged squat. So don't worry, there's no more balance today. That is it. We're going to go into a chair squat, and we're going to do our breath of fire. Again, remember that single inhale and 5 exhales. So set your feet, number 11. Bend your knees, bend your hips. Tuck your tail between your legs, draw your arms forward, and we're going to go into twisted chair first. So let's twist our body open to the right, make a T, or set your hand on your thigh, either one. Come back forward, both arms forward, and now twist your body to the left, make a T, or set the right hand on the thigh, you pick. Sweep the arms forward and set your hands on your thighs. Stay low in your chair squat. Keep that tail tucked between your legs. You're going to use your hands for support in your breath of fire. Again, we're going to do 30 seconds. So a single inhale and 5 exhales. Go at your own pace and begin. Imagine the belly is dancing. Going. And release. Rise up. We're going to take it down to seated poses now. So if you want to bring your device down to the floor, either directly on the floor or to a stack of books, go ahead and do that. And then come to sit on the mat with open legs, V-shaped legs. Your V might be shallow, or it might be wider. You pick. Move the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Sit tall. And we're going to do some more twisting poses here. So with your V-shaped legs, bring your arms out to a T. Relax the shoulders down. And just like our very first spinal warm-up segment where we did that T twist, we're going to do the same thing. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn and twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn and twist left. Inhale, center. One more time each side. To the right and center. To the left, center. Relax the arms for a moment. We're going to add to that, instead of just a single motion, when we twist, we're going to pulse 3 times. So almost like that breath of fire, 3 little exhales when you pulse, looking off to the side. So send your arms out to a T, shoulder blades relax down your back. Inhale, and now twist right. Center, twist left. Center, one more time each side. Center and left. Center and release. Roll those shoulders back. Keep your legs as they are. We're going to progress that pose by adding a fold, turning that twist into soft pose. So when you add the fold, you're going to be taking one hand and trying to chop off the pinky toe on the opposite foot. Don't let the hip rise up. So if the only way you can touch the pinky toe is to lift your hip up like that, then don't go that far. Just pretend your hand is longer and you're chopping off the pinky toe with an imaginary longer hand. So ground those sits bones. Send the arms to a T, shoulders relaxed. Engage the abdominal muscles. Inhale. Exhale, saw the pinky toe off the right foot. Center, opposite. One more each side. Next one. And relax the arms for a moment. Same progression that we did on our T twist. We're going to add 3 little exhales. Again, like that breath of fire, energizing that belly. Arms to a T, shoulders relaxed. Inhale. And now exhale, pulse 3 times. Center, opposite. Center, one more each side. And release. Good work, my friends. Let's go into a fold here to add a stretch following that strength component. You can rest your hands on your legs, either on the thighs or lower below the knees, and ease your chest forward. If it's accessible, place your hands on the earth. Draw those elbows down, which pulls the shoulders away from your ears. And again, if it's accessible, you can crawl forward another palm print, deepening your stretch. Keep those elbows relaxed down. Bow your head if you like, but keep reaching your head forward between your legs. Breathe. One more breath cycle, and we're going to add a twist. Keep your right hand where it is, and lift your left hand up to the sky. Your right hand might be on your leg, and that's okay. On the leg or on the earth, you pick. One more breath cycle. And we switch. Bring that left hand down and sweep the right hand up to the sky. Look at the fingers up in the sky. One more breath cycle. And release the hand down. Lift the chest up and sweep those legs forward to close. Coming into staff pose, Dandasana, with the fleshy part of your bottoms away from your sits bones. Lift that rib cage up and relax the shoulders down. I'm going to go into some hip circles here. So rest your hands on your thighs, giving you a little stability here. Draw the chest forward and then to the left and back and right and forward. Just rotating from the hips, rotating the upper body at the connection between the spine and the hips. Pause and go the other way. Engage those abdominal muscles. Feel that golden ball of fire. Pause and sit tall. Bring your hands down next to your hips, fingertips pointing out, shoulders relaxed. We're going to work the core muscles here by lifting up one foot at a time. Flex both feet. Lift your right heel, release. Lift your left heel, release. Do that again. Right, release. Left, release. One more time. Right, release. Left, release. Hug your knees into your body. Round your back. Take a breath cycle here, or two. Countering our strength with a little stretch. And now we're going to go back to strength. We're going to do a little baby reverse table. We're not going to hold it. We're just going to come up off of the earth just an inch or so. So bring your feet forward slightly. Your knees are still bent. And bring your hands behind you. But this time, I'm going to turn sideways. Or partially sideways. This time your fingertips are pointing towards your hips. They're not pointing out to the side. They're pointing towards your hips. Pinch your shoulder blades together. Separate your feet hip distance. So that's about a tennis ball distance between your big toes. Engage the abdominal muscles. Don't lift your hips. Just push into the earth with your hands, lifting up through the shoulders, and then relax. Next one, you can lift your hips. Just an inch. And release. Let's do 3 more. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift and lower. Hug the knees again. Rounding the back. Breathe. And now extend your legs forward. Before we go into the second set of stretches here, before we stretch the lower body, let's stretch our wrists after that pose right there. So just bend and release that wrist joint with your index finger and thumb, kind of massaging that area as you flex and extend that joint. And then on the other hand, again, thumb and finger are at the joint as if the thumb and finger were moving it instead of just the hand itself. Just a little massage on that wrist joint, and I'll release. All right, let's go into half Lord of the Fishes. Draw your right foot in. If you've got a full tummy, you don't want to compress the abdominal cavity. It might not feel comfortable. So you can stay here. If you don't have a full tummy, go ahead and cross the foot over. That'll give you a deeper stretch. Lift up through the rib cage, shoulders relaxed, turn and hug that knee into your body with both arms and look off towards the right. If you want to go a little deeper here, take your right hand and rest it on the earth behind you. If you want to take it one step further, take your left arm and bring it to the outside of that right thigh. Looking off towards the right, breathe. One more breath cycle. And release to face front. We'll switch to the other side. Extend that right leg forward, draw the left foot in. Again, you have the option to stay here for your twist without crossing over, or if it's accessible today, go ahead and cross it over. Lift from the ribcage up, shoulders down, hug that knee into the body with both arms. Enhance your stretch, go a little bit deeper. Don't just come to the same spot that you always pose this half Lord of the Fishes configuration. Go ahead and come a little deeper. And then, option to take the enhancements if you want. And take your left hand, let it rest behind you, opening up that chest a little more, adding a little stretch for the shoulder. And one step deeper into the twist, take that right arm to the outside of the left thigh. One more breath cycle. And spiral back to face front. Extend both legs forward, and we're going to come into bound angle pose. So draw both knees in and lower the knees out to the side, drawing your heels towards your body. If this is too much flexion on the knee when you draw the heels close, then move your heels further away from your body. You'll get less flexion on the knee joints. So you pick. Take your hands like you're opening a book and place those hands on the outside edges of your feet. Tall spine, shoulders relaxed. Feel that stretch through the arms and shoulders by lifting up through the rib cage. And then if you want to add motion, keep it slow and controlled. Lifting the knees and lowering the knees. As you do the lowering motion, you're going to feel a deeper stretch through the inner thigh and groin muscles. Don't go fast though, you might risk injury to that area of the body. And now pause, holding your bound angle pose. Take your thumbs to the arches of your feet and just massage the arches of the feet. So in reflexology of the feet, there are 7 points of the feet that are associated with the 7 chakras, and the arch is the one that's associated with the solar plexus. So we're connecting with this massaging action to that golden ball of fire, the solar plexus chakra. One more breath cycle. Release your hands from your feet, take outside your knees, close the knees, and give them another hug. We're going to go into a boat sequence pose. So take your feet towards the skinny end of your mat. I'm going to turn sideways again, partially sideways to you. We're going to do the boat sequence twice. The first time with the hands on the mat, and the second time option to release the hands from the mat. Of course, you don't have to. You can do both sequences with the hands on the mat. Range of motion and intensity is always up to you. So bring your hands behind you. Once again, just like reverse table, your fingertips are pointing towards your hips, and you pinch the shoulder blades together. That gives you strength through the upper body and stability. Engaging those core muscles. We're going to pick up one foot at a time and do some tucks, and then both together. Pick up your right foot. Pinch the shoulder blades together again, and we'll tuck and extend 4 times. Tuck, extend, tuck, extend. This is 3, and this is 4. Release. We'll do the other leg. So pick up your left foot, pinch the shoulder blades together again, and we tuck and extend. 3 more, 2 more, last one, and release. Third one, a little more challenging, picking up both feet. Float the feet up, balance on your sits bones, pinch the shoulder blades together, and we tuck and extend, tuck and extend. 2 more, last one, and release, hug the knees. Firing up those core muscles, your power center. We're going to do that same sequence again. You have the option to do it exactly the same, or you can do it with the intensity of no hands on the mat. Let's set it up first with the hands on the mat. So hands come behind you, fingertips are pointing towards your hips, pinch the shoulder blades together. Now, if you want, take the hands off the mat, but don't bring them forward. So don't crawl forward with your hands like this, because now you've lost pinching the shoulder blades together. So if your hands are off the mat, keep them just off to the side, palms open to the sky, pinching the shoulder blades together. Pick up your right foot, keep those shoulder blades pinched together, and tuck and extend, and tuck and extend. And 2 more, and 1 more, and we switch legs. Pinch the shoulder blades together, and we tuck and extend, tuck and extend. 2 more. Last one, feet down. This is the hardest one, so if you want to put your hands down or try it with me, both feet up, pinch the shoulder blades together, tuck and extend, tuck and extend. 2 more. Last one, release the feet, and hug the knees. Good work, my friends. Whew. We're going to continue to fire up that solar plexus area with a rolling like a ball pose, but we're going to start with half rollback. So don't worry, if rolling like a ball sounds like, oh, that's going to hurt my back, you don't have to do it. You can do half rollback. So let's start with a tall spine. You can glue your knees together, hands on the sides of your legs, and now start to C-shape the spine. Curling the navel into the spine, drawing the chin forward, and then come right back up to sit tall. Go at your own pace now. Deepen that C shape, curl into the C shape, and then sit tall. Let your entire body make the C. Don't forget your head. Tuck the chin as well. Feel like you're getting a little stretch on the back of the neck by tucking that chin so tightly into your chest. Let's do 1 more half roll back. Returning to sit tall. You can continue with half roll back, or if you want to join me in rolling like a ball, as we go into that C shape, the feet lift up and the back comes all the way down to the mat, and then you roll back up and set your feet on the mat. So if you want to, make sure you're balanced on your sits bones, Start to make that C shape. Remember, you don't have to do anything else. You can go right back to vertical or lift those feet up, roll back, and come into your return position. Go at your own pace, whether you're doing more of the half roll back or you're adding rolling like a ball. Make sure you're making that C shape, tucking the chin, add the sit tall position at the end. If you want to challenge this rolling like a ball, don't land your feet on the next one. Try to balance. C shape and balance. Wherever you are, do 2 more. And on the last one, bring your hands all the way forward to the top of the mat and send your knees behind you. And take a child's pose. Coming into table pose here. So again, if you want to get your knee pad back out that you had for your low lunge, you can use your knee pad for our table poses. Make big stars with your hands, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, going into cat and cow. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, round your back. Inhale, drop the belly. Go at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling between cat and cow. If you want more range of motion, bend the elbows as you dip between the poses. Increasing your range of motion, enhancing your mobility and flexibility. Do one more pattern of cat and cow. And end in neutral spine. All right, we're going to do some more strength now. Curl your toes. We're going to come into a hover position of the knees 3 times. So really spread your fingers wide. Press in with the knuckle pads and the balls, the heels of the palms, And now float the knees and lower. Twice more. Float and lower. Last one. Float and lower. Step your feet back into plank. Another plank, yes. If you need to, you can drop your knees down and relax the toenails to the mat. But keep lifting up through the shoulders, making a straight line between your knees and your shoulders. Or you can stay here in this version of toe plank. And we're going to tap the feet out to the side. Or if you're on your knees, you're tapping the knees out one at a time. Right foot taps right, return. Left foot taps left, return. Twice more each side. Tap right, return, tap left, return, tap right, return, tap left, return, knees down. Child's pose. Roll out your wrists. We're going to enter a sequence here that works the back body, a bird dog sequence. And now that solar plexus, it's not just in the front of the body. When we were envisioning it before, we were thinking about it being in the front of our abdomen. But actually, the belly and the diaphragm span that abdominal cavity front to back. So does your solar plexus chakra. So let's energize the back body here with some bird dog poses. Spread your fingers wide. Extend your right foot back, curling the toes onto the mat. Lift up through the shoulders and then float that foot off the mat, flexing the foot. You can stay here or add the balance component of the left arm reaching forward. Lift up through that right shoulder. We're going to add a tuck position here. If you want, you can put the hand back down and just tuck the knee under the body, as I just demonstrated, or you can tuck the elbow and the knee together under the body. We'll do it 4 times, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hand down, but keep the knee up in the air. Lift up through those shoulders. We're going to go into bird dog bow. Make sure your elbows are going to bend backwards and not out to the side. And we'll bow 4 times. Bow and lift. Bow and lift. 2 more. Bow and lift. Bow and lift. Bend the knee. Straighten the knee. Wag your tail. Bend and straighten. Wag your tail. Go at your own pace. One more. Knee down, child's pose. Roll out your wrists. We're going to do that bird dog sequence on the other side. Pull yourselves forward. Lift up through those shoulders. Step your left foot back, flexing that foot. Float the foot up off the earth, trying to get that heel at hip height. Try not to arch your back here. Draw the navel into your spine. Flat back. You can stay here or add the balance component, right arm reaching forward. Keep lifting up through that left shoulder. We're going to add the motion here, the strength pose of tucking. If you want, you can place the hand down and just tuck the knee under the chest, or tuck the elbow to the knee 4 times. Here we go. Tuck and release. Tuck and release. 2 more. Last one. Keep the foot up in the air, but set the hand down. Spread your fingers wide. Make sure your elbows are going to bend backwards, not out to the side. And we'll do bird dog bow 4 times. Engage the navel, bend the elbows, and lift. 3 more. And lift. 2, and lift. Last 1. Lift, knee down, child's pose. Oh, wait, we forgot to do wag the tail. Bring that leg back up, straight leg back up, lift through the shoulders, and now wag your tail, bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Just a few at your own pace here, just wagging your tail. Last one. Now the knee down in child's pose. Roll out your wrists. Sorry about that, my friends. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. I was so anxious to go into our next set of planks. Oh my gosh, yes, 1 more set of planks. Draw yourself forward. Don't worry, there's going to be a wrist stretch after this set of planks. Coming into your table pose. We're going to do that same sequence again. Curl the toes. Spread your fingers wide. Press through the knuckle pads and the heels of your palms. And we lift the knees 3 times. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Step the feet back into plank pose. If you want, drop the knees down and relax the toenails, but keep lifting up through those shoulders. Make that straight line between the knees and the shoulders, or straight line between the heels and the shoulders. Look slightly forward of your fingertips. Instead of tapping the feet, we're going to lift one hand and then the other. Lift, release, lift, release. If you can, that lifting hand can tap the shoulder. Do 1 more each hand. Release the knees and child's pose. Roll out your wrists. This is where we're going to add that wrist stretch. We are done with our hands and knees sequence. Whew, a little energy there. So let's stretch out those wrists. Coming up to a kneeling pose. Take the backs of your hands to the mat. Fingertips are pointing towards each other. This time the elbows are pointing out to the side. We bend, they go out to the side, and here's where the stretch comes. Straighten all the way up. That's where you'll get the stretch on the tops of the wrists. Do that again. At your own pace, just do a couple. Release those wrists. 1 more. And we're going to come down onto our backs. So go ahead and swing your feet to the skinny end of your mat. As slowly as you can. Use the core, that power center to come all the way down to the mat. And when you get there, hug your knees into your body. Add a little sway if that feels good. We're going to finish off with some powerhouse moves here, lying on our back, so gravity is our friend, and then some stretches. We're going to start with a move that also adds another variation of breath of fire. It's going to be 5 inhales and 5 exhales, and your legs have different options. You can have your legs in the letter L, you can have your legs in candlestick, or you can have your legs in candlestick pushed away. So all of those poses represent a progression for intensity on the core muscles. While your legs are in that position, your arms are extended out, palms facing down,
and you're going to be pumping the arms as if you were slapping the surface of water. So you want to really engage these arm muscles. So you're not just flapping like this. It's not a swimming motion. It's a tap, tap, tap. All right? And we're doing 5 inhales, 5 exhales, and we do it 10 times. And it's called the hundreds. You're going to see me change my leg position. I'm not going to call it out because I'm going to call out the numbers. Bring your legs to either 1 or 2 or 3. You'll see me progress from 1, 2, and 3 during this, but I'm not going to call it out. Your head and shoulders can remain on the mat, or for intensity, you can lift your head. And now tap water. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 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 Halfway, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug your knees, release your head. Ooh, feel that golden ball of fire. Whew. All right, adjust your low back again. Make sure you've got a good connection. Arms are alongside your body, palms facing down. Feet are up in the air, knees are bent. Flex the feet, press the upper arms into the mat, and now tap your right heel to the earth, come back up, and tap the left heel, and come back up. Try not to tap the heel by just bending the knee like that. Keep this angle so you're moving from the hip joint. I'm going to show this again on the leg that you can see. So I'm not just bending the knee to bring the foot down, I'm pivoting from the hip. So continue to alternate. Pivot from the hip to tap the heel down. Feel the energy in the core. Press the upper arms into the earth. You can continue with alternating motion, or if you want, try together tap. If that's too much for your low back, go halfway and up. And then work on the strength to eventually get those heels to tap together. That's a lot of energy in the core, so make sure your low back can handle it. Do one more, and hug your knees. Whew. Let that low back relax. We're going to go into another strength pose here called scissors. Extend your legs up into candlestick. If that's too much, bend your knees partially. You pick. Place both hands on your right leg and allow the left leg to push away. It could be bent like this or straight. You pick. And then switch. Continue switching. Here, this is a very small scissors that I'm demonstrating. Or you could take it a little deeper. That's a very deep one there. Or maybe just a halfway. You pick. You can stay here with your head and shoulders on the mat, or intensity, lift your head. If that bothers your neck, then don't do it. Keep your head on the mat. Breathe. Energizing that golden ball of fire. One more breath cycle. Hug your knees and release your head. Add a little sway. Plant your feet flat. Separate your feet wide. Hands can rest on your belly, or they could be cactus arms, or out to a T. You pick. And now windshield wipers. I'm going to give you the option to add one more strength pose. Here in windshield wipers. This will be the last one, and after that, all stretching. So if you want, float the heels. Engage those abdominal muscles. Think about the navel pulling into the spine. Keep both shoulders on the mat. One more breath cycle. If your feet are lifted, go ahead and lower and hug both knees into your chest. I'm going to go into some stretches here. Keep your right knee hugged into your chest. Straighten out your left leg. Hug that knee in a little bit tighter, deepening the stretch on that left hip flexor. And now let the right big toe just touch the left thigh and draw that knee across. Using your left hand to draw the right leg across. Your right arm could be in a T or a cactus arm. Keep both shoulders on the mat. Come back to center. Switch the knee that you are hugging. Hug your left knee in. Hug it really tightly. Relax the shoulders. Stretching the right hip flexor. And now let that left big toe just tap the thigh. Take your right hand and draw that left knee across. Maybe bring that arm out or into a cactus. You pick. One more breath cycle. Bring that knee back. Hug both knees in again. And we'll stretch the hamstrings together. So allow the feet to rise up towards the ceiling. Take your hands behind your thighs and pull the straight legs towards your body. If you want, you can reach up to the calves as well, but then allow those shoulders to pull back into the mat. Breathe. Look up at your toes. You don't need to look at your screen here. Maybe even close your eyes. One more breath cycle. Hug your knees. We're going to finish off with a pose that stimulates the organs of the digestive system and really focusing on the area where we've located our solar plexus chakra. So you don't need to look at your screen. Just place your hands on your knees and push the knees away and pull them in. Keep the feet floating, and we're just pushing and pulling the knees in and out, stimulating those digestive system organs. One more breath cycle. And allow your feet to rest. We're going into relaxation here. So if you want to come into corpse pose, you can straighten. In fact, let's all do a full body stretch first and then our relaxation pose. So lengthen your legs, lengthen your arms overhead. You did so much work on those core muscles that they deserve a nice stretch. So inhale, stretch your fingertips away from your toes, and then exhale, yawn. Do one more like that. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, yawn. And now you can bring your arms down alongside your body with the palms open to the sky for corpse pose, Shavasana. Or you could come back into bent knees if that's better for your low back. You could lie on your side if you like. I'm sitting up just to project my voice, but you remain in whatever relaxing pose is right for you. Lying on your side, your back, you could come into child's pose again. Whatever is comfortable to you. Survey your body. If you're lying on your back and you can place your hands at that area of the solar plexus, go ahead and place your fingertips on that solar plexus area just below your rib cage, your power center. Imagine your fingertips getting warm from that gold wheel of fire. Remember our hand gesture that represented self-esteem, your power, your confidence. One more breath cycle. And we'll return to a seated pose. So if you're on your back, you can roll to your side, or you can do one more sit-up, engaging those muscles at the solar plexus area one last time. And coming into a seated pose. You can sit cross-legged, or you could sit with your legs extended. My quote today is from a very knowledgeable and good witch, Glinda, the good witch. And what did she say to Dorothy? You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself.
So find that power. You have it. It's in you. Bring your hands outside your hips. Inhale to the sky. Let your thumbs touch. Your mind, your spirit breath in your body. The spirit in me honors the spirit in all of you. Namaste, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today in this Solar Plexus Chakra yoga practice. And remember, keep breathing.